Welcome back, attractive and well-educated watchers. First of all, we want to apologize that this is indeed not the next Borghammer episode. We know that we promised it for last month, but shit hit the fan for Adam and we're late on that. That being said, we don't want you guys to think we're all hat and no cattle. Our patrons basically run this channel, and we just do what we're told. And our Patreon... over there. Yep. Been there the whole time. Patreon, yep. Anywho, our Patreon is at least partially full of people who only pledged for this specific channel. Like, not joking, some of you have no idea that we have 8 other YouTube channels. Anyway, we want to show everyone that we love our patrons and we want them to stay around, so we decided to make up for not getting you a video on time this month, or last month, with a silly bonus video to help everyone in the world get to know us a bit more. It's a bit personal, but we think everyone here will enjoy this, unique perspective on things. This is our life. In Star Trek characters. You see, when we were young, like really young, like a kid, we were Wesley Crusher. All we could hear, all around us, was how brilliant we were, how amazingly smart we were, how bright of a future we had ahead of us. We were starstruck and bright-eyed and hopeful for a future that was ultimately never going to come, and even if it did, it would have been far more complex than we were prepared for. Random strangers in public saw our potential and pointed it out to our mother, pointed it out to us. We took part in academic competitions and won. We stuck around with adults just to learn things far above our grade level, and we were always eager to discover the next new thing to learn about. We sucked up knowledge faster than most children our age, and we excelled at physical endeavors despite the fact that we weren't terribly athletically motivated. With a passion for the martial arts and medieval combat alongside single-minded obsession to learn every single point of data about everything in the entire universe. We were boundless, limited only by space, time, and thought. Everyone thought that we were going to be the next big thing. Except our mother. To our mother, we were Reginald Barclay. We were pitiful, stupid, disorganized, helpless, pedantic, unintelligent, and woefully incompetent. We were considered a trouble if we were in the area, and if something went wrong, it was our fault. All the same, even if it wasn't, we were expected to clean it up. To everyone who would listen, she would make fun of us, often with us in the same room. She would bully us, threaten us, treat us gruffly, and hold every mistake over our head for years on end. Children are to be seen and not heard, we were told. And it would be better, even still, if they were seen doing chores, being obedient, and otherwise not causing any trouble, especially no trouble for her or her public image. And those things would keep us down, keep us out of sight, keep us subservient, and exactly what she wanted us to be. When we got a bit older and a bit more rebellious, we were more like Riker. We respected authority and we understood our position in society, but we had considerably more drive than previously allowed. No longer so starry-eyed, we were still a bit too ambitious for our own good. We liked to hit on people, guys or gals, and see where it would lead in every possible incident, and while never explicitly inappropriate, forceful, or pushy, we were certainly a bit immature, self-assured, and insecure. We went around picking fights we probably didn't need to, and we sought out lessons we almost certainly could have let others learn in our stead. But there was always a good nature to it, a need to help, a bit of a party animal streak and a propensity to have fun and keep things good. In time, as we settled into a bit more of a party lifestyle in our early 20s, we became more like Quark. A bit raucous, money-oriented, self-centered, but not malicious, with the propensity to overdo it when we thought we had the chance, but to overreact a bit when the same came back on us. We liked to party and we were surrounded by people, some customers, some visitors, some business partners, and many odd parties looking to find a place to cut loose and relax for a while. Drinks, drugs, music, parties, gambling, gaming, and all sorts of pleasures were part of our life. And when times were good, they were certainly good. But when times weren't so great, that was when we realized how hollow life was. We had nothing but the material. Our friends were just around to get what they could out of us. In truth, we didn't have any real friends at all. Just acquaintances. When we later fell into homelessness and lost everything, we found that out really hard. We lost the only home we'd ever known, any pleasures we'd enjoyed, the status quo and way of life we'd grown used to. And nobody would help us. Most folks would barely even answer us. We became an outcast. We became Worf. Angry, violent, internally conflicted, completely and totally covered by a shroud of dishonor and social distance. A barely contained beast trying as hard as we could to live in society with all of the other humans. Humans unused to and intolerant of the monster that we'd been forced to become by the people in our life that chose to betray us over trusting us. By the people who had, we came to realize, held us back the entire time. So many of our gifts had been squandered, so many grand abilities we had when we were younger wasted, our powerful body broken on the pain and suffering of poverty. And all we had left were our principles, our personal honor. We did not steal, we did not betray people, we did not commit crimes nor act dishonorably, we didn't lie, and we didn't try to make friends. We were in life as an object lesson to others not to do as we have done, except in order to be the very best monster that we could be, to be something more civilized, to be caught between worlds, and, as much as we tried, we were stuck there. So we had to maintain what little we could while everything fell apart. We had to fight to survive. And so we did. But eventually, we came to a more peaceful, if still difficult time. We settled down on a farm, became the live-in farmhand, started raising ducks and chickens. We got a dog, became more domestic. Dishes, chores, maintenance. And while anger was still a problem, still is a problem, we found a better way about things, a more constructive way. We slowly became Miles O'Brien, of all things. It was good. Times were hard, but things weren't too combative yet. We helped around as we could, accepted the role of subordinate to the superiors on the farm, and did as we were told. We carried out our duties to the best of our abilities, even when it outright burned us out, and, for the most part, we did so in silence. We didn't have friends, and we got that. But we could at least fool everyone into believing that we were just some normal dude again. Not a homeless person, not a prisoner of over 20 years in one form or of another, be it in our mind or our body. Not an outcast monster without hope or honor. Not the soldier, not the hunter, not the king, not the party animal. Just some shy, living it out with everyone else and stepping in to help when it was needed. A quiet and content, if lonely existence. But, as time went by, we got comfortable. And as we got comfortable, the ambition that plagues us returned. We set ourselves up with schedules, we started working out more, we started planning and made a small business of rabbit farming for ourselves. We stepped out of the role of helper and into the role of stakeholder in the company, and officer in the operation. We became Nog. Having recovered our ambition, learned our talents, looked back on our past, and took what was successful while doffing the rest, we flourished. There were some hostile takeover attempts, but we adapted and maintained a business-like attitude. It was fine that we have no friends because we were making excellent business connections, starting to take care of the bottom line, getting positive reviews. Profit was on the horizon, and our business partners were good. Our clientele was good. It was about time to start expanding. And we would have, if not for the return of Chicken Water Man. The Gul Dukat to our Benjamin Sisko, Chicken Water Man's return to the farm put us through our paces. Waving his dick around in everyone's face about how it was his property, constantly touting his own imaginary superiority, claiming to have done so much while he sat around and trashed the lives of everyone around him. We hated him. And, now that we had a firm foundation under our feet, we could fight back and hold our ground against the threat to those who had accepted us. We'd lived on this farm for 3 years, started a business, gotten integrated into the system, and fallen in love with the Oregon coast. We'd gotten a dog, we'd raised animals, we'd worked hard to make this farm something that everyone could be proud of, and we were not going to stand by and let it be completely destroyed. So we pulled a Cisco. We pulled some slick maneuvers to fix things. Nothing illegal, but certainly things that the more vain or gentle of our associates would question. And we did it straight-faced. We set up a case, we gathered support, we planned out our attack, and we got him out. No longer will we be under threat by yet another narcissistic villain character acting like they hold the weight of the universe on their shoulders and expecting others to carry their burden. But after that, we unfortunately find we've gotten a bit jaded. Now it's just money, chores, business, productivity, profit, maintenance, cleaning, refurbishing, trying to remember to soak our feet every night like the doctor tells us to. We do our job and we do it well. We take our role very seriously, and we have become quite proactive with ensuring that nothing goes wrong on our watch. The dogs are trained, the schedule is set, the rabbits are fed and watered, the chickens have been slopped, and the new part for the riding mower is in the mail. Things are hard. At every step, the world has worked as hard as it can to make things difficult for us, but we keep a stony expression on our face, and we work through it. If nothing else, then for the good of our community, and to maintain order and justice. The farm will fall apart if not for a proper hand of authority and motive, and we need to keep the lights on. We need to pay the bills. At this point in our life, so it seems, we become all but married to our duties. Helpful, loyal, dedicated, inclined toward doing the right thing whenever possible, and not particularly inclined to bend on it, whilst also being flexible if we need to in order to take care of a job. At the same time, we become quiet, lonesome, irritable, straightforward, impatient, overly inquisitive, paranoid, suspicious, and, so we're told, an incurable workaholic. It would seem, now in our mid-30s, that we've become Constable Odo. And the more and more we think about it, the more we look at his picture, you know what we think?